Sir,
अच्छा ओके चार ज़्यादा नहीं
just to make our younger students feel a little more represented, can we take a few questions from the younger batches?
Sure. I didn't know who was young and who was old.
Greetings, sir. I'm Satakshi from the first year. So my question is, in 2023, the Parliament enacted a law altering the appointment committee for the Chief Election Commissioner by excluding the CJI from the committee, going totally against the Anup Baranwal case. And now, for the first time in the history of Indian Parliament, the opposition bloc MPs on March 13 formally submitted the notion for the motion of removal of the serving Chief Election Commissioner as an escalation of the tiff over the SIR and the West Bengal electoral rolls. Not saying that there is any direct correlation in these two matters, but these developments do reflect a normal friction of the constitutional democracy or a deeper tension where political majorities increasingly shape institutions meant to act as neutral checks.
Very long questions.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, I'll answer both very quickly. Number one, I think you're wrong. The Constitution then said, till such time as Parliament passes law, okay, the appointment the committee shall be with the Chief Justice of India. Now Parliament has passed the law, which excludes the Chief Justice. There's nothing wrong with that, except that that law, the constitutional validity of that law is pending in court, not yet decided. That's the answer to your first question. As far as the CEC is concerned, again, I'm the lawyer in those matters, and I've been sort of fighting that. So it's not appropriate for me to answer. But this is the first time in the history of the country that there's an impeachment process of the CEC, which is really unfortunate. Yes? You're from the first year? First year.
First and second years only. Any questions?
You're the class monitor or what?
Sorry, sir. But like most of the questions have been from seniors here, so we have to make everyone feel represented.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, since we are talking about Indian democracy, and you told that democracy is the ability to question the authority without being having the fear of being reprimanded. But whenever we, from the childhood, we have instead.
Ask the question, miss.
Sir, how do we make sure that we as a law student have that curiosity warm instilled in us forever without being without being fearful of the authority and I'm always told to be diplomatic, like by my father, and always whenever I question the authority. So how do we maintain?
You should be diplomatic. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sir, so how do we question the authority?
I'll tell you when you come to me. I'll tell you how diplomatically you can ask the right question. It's not an issue. No problem in asking the question, but you can do it diplomatically. Nowadays, people abuse and start asking questions. You don't have to do it.
So not being abusive, but like how do we maintain that we
It all
ask?
depends what the question is, miss. If you ask me, I'll tell you how to do it diplomatically. It can easily be done, not a problem. I have said a lot of things rather diplomatically today, right? Okay, done?
Sir, good afternoon, sir. My question is very fundamental to what you said right now. You mentioned that the PMLA is being misused by the current government. So my question is that people often say that every ruling party in India tends to use the investigative agencies against the political opponents.
Not true. Have you ever seen in the past, in the history of this country, only opposition leaders being targeted by any investigating agency? Answer is no. And that's a matter of history and of fact. Thank you, Miss. Now you please.
Yes.
You should conclude.
I now request Tushar Azad, student of this university, to propose a vote of thanks.
On behalf of the National Law University and Judicial Academy Assam, it is my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks following this truly intellectual session. All of us are deeply honored to have had you, sir, today here. Sir's remarkable career at the bar in public life and in constitutional discourse lends immense weight and perspective to the ideas Sir has shared with us today. Sir, your reflections on judicial independence and democracy reminded us that the Constitution sustains itself through just and fair institutions, courageous and loyal servants of the law, and vigilant citizens. Your insights on the role of people in the legal fraternity and their duty to be social engineers will stay with many of us today long after this lecture. We are sincerely grateful, sir, that you took out the time to engage with us today. All of us are deeply appreciative of your presence here, because just like your music album with A.R. Rahman in 2014, you brought Ronak to this gathering and gave us inspiration to our germinating aspirations. I would also like to thank Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, University Administration, esteemed faculty members, research scholars and fellow students for making this lecture vibrant. We are grateful to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, and the University Administration for organizing this lecture and giving us the opportunity to learn from legal luminaries such as Mr. Simple. Once again, it was my privilege and our privilege to listening to you and learning from you, sir, and we hope to have the honor of hosting you again soon. With that, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to you and thank everyone present here today. Thank you. If I may, on a lighter vein, some of us have been really trying and passionately trying to land an internship. And so here's me making a polite sifarish.
So how many of you?
As many heads as are visible.
Well, you guys have to rent a place for that.
So we can come one by
No,
one.
what you do is give me a couple of names, 2 or 3 names. I'll be more than happy. It's not an issue.
Thank you so much.